against Rhaegar again are pretty high at this point. Question just is how they're going to run the second pick. And also, if they are changing up their ban, because they have been banning out Hassada in both of these games, and I would not really mind to see them changing that maybe as well.
Well, let's go ahead and hop into it here. Now remember, the last time Team Good Guys was on BOE, we had the incredible, super long match that happened against Team Expert, and they were able to make a crazy comeback. We'll see if they're able to control the play.
There we go.
On this matchup. They ban out the ETC.
All right. ETC finally being banned. He just offers too much utility in this setup, and Dignitas relies again on Abathar as a ban, which has, by the way, been... I think Abathar has recently been the highest banned hero in Europe, at least. It's absolutely
last couple
crazy.
weeks for sure.
Yeah, it's insane how high he has spiked here. And Hassada now taken by Dignitas immediately, so the good guys have to now think a bit, okay, how are we reacting here? They are probably thinking about Rhaegar again. Yep, there he is. And it's a Vala immediately. So they are letting the Haka go. The Haka is still going to be able to be played on the map to get the earlier level 10 in particular, so that's something that you can do here to play the global again. Or you can just simply focus fully on a poke and teamfight composition.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because you would think about this battleground being so small, Dahaka will lose some value, but he doesn't at all. Being able to race level 10, he has a very solid way of moving into a team fight with as much fog as there is available on the middle of the battleground.
Yeah, well, the thing with Dahaka here is you are very much playing heavily around drag. And you try to get the side soak, but it's easier for your opponent to move back from the middle into the lane and soak as well. It's really all about that one moment where you move in, try to drag, and try to win the team fight there. So that's what the good guys also identify, immediately ban him out. We have Dignitas banning Varian. Really love that, by the way, that Varian is not only played, but also recognized by the team played against Tracer, but also the team that plays Tracer recognizes him more as a counter now. We had a few weeks where that wasn't really the case. So the Dignitas even says, let's ban it out here, make sure that Snitch has as much freedom as possible on Tracer. And this is a strong lineup for Dignitas.
Yeah. Speaking of that freedom, I mean, Tracer Tassadar is going to run all over this battleground right now. Team Good Guys need to find a way to lock down the Tracer. With the Variant being banned out, your options do get limited. ETC's been banned out, which has been a popular option in the past. So now they need to find someone that can land that engage and also make sure to lock down Tracer long enough for them to go in for the kill. But Nubrak, being taken away by Dignitas, takes away another option that we've seen in the past. Dropping the Impale when she goes in usually can be solid.
Yeah, and we have the good guys again with Arthas, and we have Greymane. So that is a lot of race potential for the Immortal. You have an arrow build on Vala, you have Greymane, so that's two of the best heroes already to pressure the Immortal damage, or the Immortal hit points, and Rhaegar with a Lightning Bond available. So when we're talking Immortal race, the good guys have this clearly won. Big question just is, can they stay alive long enough? Because Tracer is going to try and jump that backline, especially Vala.
Arthas can be a bit annoying, and at least be on that front line and try to control the Tracer, but if she finds that angle to go around and find that Vala or that Greymane, especially with the Quantum Spike coming on at level 10, that's where it will be difficult, and Rhaegar will have to make sure to have the heal. But for now, I agree with you. Team Good Guys has good control, good solid fight there when it comes to the actual Immortal race. Now, Malthael Uther will be the final pickup here for Dignitas. Malthael to help out with the race. It will require Tracer to be a nuisance to slow down Team Good Guys, but still capable here for Team Dignitas.
It's also annoying for Arthas. But we have Medivh now coming into play. I actually like this. Like, overall, the draft that they have is definitely a lot better what they showed so far. I love Medivh against Tracer. You can negate a lot of the heroic ability there. You have a setup also available for them right now with Leyline Seal. I mean, there's a lot of tools that they're currently having that they currently have that you can really utilize. A lot of vision, first of all. You have the portals to get away. I would say from all the drafts that we've seen from them so far, this is by far their best.
What I like about the draft is it puts the entire play, their cards are now in the hand tier of Team Good Guys. They can force a fight. They can dive that Uther if they want to. With that Arctis, go in the back line, try to kill him, and then back up while he's using his trait there to heal up his teammates, and then re-engage afterwards. There's a lot of stuff here that if good shot calling comes online for Team Good Guys, I could see them getting a win over Team Dignitas.
I'm currently thinking I don't mind Arthas, but they have been showing some Johanna so far. I'm currently thinking if I would have liked Johanna maybe even a little bit more with this, just because the Blessed Shield alone is already really cool and you have to condemn.
Yeah.
So, I mean, both of the heroes work if you play correctly, but Johanna is a little bit more forgiving when you're trying to move out, especially if you're up against stuns on the side of Anuburak and also of Uther. Arthas, once he's locked down, can only rely on either his self-heal or on the rest, where with Johanna you have always the Iron Skin available to simply move out. But yeah, overall, definitely a much better draft from them than what we've seen so far, and has a lot of potential, even against a Tracer draft, which of course Dignitas is super scary with.
Well, we'll see if they can hold the Tracer here. Game number 3, as we have Dignitas up 2-0. Team Good Guys need to win here to stay in the series. We're on Battlefield of Eternity.
And on Battlefield, we have to the left Dignitas again with Bakery on Uther. Mena jumping on Tassadar this time, with JPL, of course, holding that front line, playing the Beetle. He's on Anuburak. Snitch is back on Tracer. Very happy about that. And Zelia is going to play the Solo laner. He will be on Malthael.
On the right side in the red, Raid Boss playing Vala. Kronaz playing the Rhaegar. BKB will be on Arthas. Zay playing Medivh. And Antihero on the Greymane.
So, arrow build already committed to, of course, on this map here. So, there's a lot of damage potential against the Immortal, as we said. Arrow build on Vala, you have Greymane, you have the Lightning Bond for Rhaegar as a level 1 talent. And in the meantime, there's a lot of safety for the Good Guys as well, thanks to Xay on Medivh. But of course, you have to be quite careful that you're not losing any of your damage healers, since especially Tracer is going to be looking for potential kills against Raid Boss and also against Greymane himself.
Looking for those pulse bombs. Can start building those up as quickly as they can. Malthael Greymane will be in the top lane, so that'll be a fun lane for those two. But you got to keep an eye on this Tracer. She will be the story of the game for the early game here. Every time a shield goes down, you saw Raid Boss actually go in for a bolt. It's one of the best ways to punish a Tracer. When you see the shield pop off on that Tassadar, go in for the fight and try to trade out. But you have to be careful when that shield comes online, because Snitch will get the win on the trade every single time.
Yeah, cooldown management is definitely going to be important. And Snitch is actually eating a lot of damage here already. And without the level 4 on Tassadar, he's going to have a bit of a rougher time to really get that back. So he has to rely on Uther, at least for now, until the Life Leech kicks in by Tassadar. At the top lane, the trade between Zelia and Antihero is going to be a little bit rough for Anti in the long run. Zelia can definitely poke him down here. But of course, at this point, we're basically looking forward towards the first Immortal, towards the level 4 talents, and then things are also becoming a little bit more tense, since Vala is going to look for her stacks, for example. Snitch is having an easier time thanks to the Life Leech that he will finally get.
Team Good Guys, we're looking for a pick on Zelia in the top, but he plays it safe and hides out in the bush while Arthas headed to the top lane, so he will be fine. And now it's all about the Immortals, as we're going to have Team Good Guys actually on the defense so far as the Immortals spawn near them. Snitch and crew will head to their Immortal and hang out for a little bit here as they see Greymane already applying damage.
Yeah, they are the ones who have to be careful that they're not being taken down. Dignitas has a little bit of poke available, but again, the race is easily won by the Good Guys. It's not even a contest. So you need to make sure that you properly defend here. Dignitas wants to force the fights in this case.
They're going to have 3 people defending. Malthael coming in occasionally to help out with the applied damage. Tassadar was soaking the bottom lane for that 4, but BKB takes a chance here, and he goes in for the engage. JPL does get hit, but Medivh dropping down. The big portal, they go in, but Greymane on the right side gets picked off. So does Tracer.
Yeah, Zelia went pretty deep there, but with Tracer already down, we are still seeing Malthael doing quite some work. The problem really is that everybody is low on both sides, actually. Both teams have taken significant damage, but it looks like Dignitas will pick up the level 4 talent a bit faster than their opponent, which gives them a slight lead here, and finally now allows also Mena to give Life Leech with his shield.
And they'll use a portal to get a couple more seconds available to them to move over and start working on that Immortal, and they'll get it picked up. The halftime show hits, and Team Dignitas severely behind here. Team Good Guys, and their comp that races down Immortals is heavily winning.
Yeah, that was to be expected, and Dignitas gives up the Immortal. They just try to reduce the shield, but they know they cannot win a race. They just can't go over to the other side of the map. That's not going to be a favorable position for them, so this is just simply accepted. But this was already something that they expected going into the game. Of course, if you get a pick, you'll decide the Immortal in your favor, but with the compositions as is, Dignitas was already realizing in the early game we're going to have a bit of a rougher time. For them, it's really forcing fights later and getting kills, getting picks. But as we said, Good Guys, I like that draft way more than what they played so far, and I think they have a lot of potential with this, especially since Medivh is one of the heroes that throws a bit of a wrench into the plans of Dignitas.
Well, dig on defense here, work on the Immortal, just now scratching through the shield here. Still about a quarter left as BKB and crew stand on that front line, willing to make sure that Tracer can't work it down. JPL finally gets it down into melee form, and they'll be able to utilize their damage here before the fort. Zelia, though, makes a big aggressive push down here, bringing all 5 members of Dignitas down to defend the 4-man.
Yeah, they take the Immortal down quite quickly, and Malthael starts to rotate back up. He needs to, of course, deal with the Grey main situation, who's at this point starting to take down towers, and the rest of the team is focusing on caps.
Camps being grabbed here on the bottom side. Zay will be able to see this pretty soon here as he's continuing to shark around with the Medivh. Will he catch it in time? He does find it, and Raid Boss starts to move in. So does BKB. Portal pops up, and they're going to try and contest the area, but a little bit too late as Dig grabs the Mercs.
Dig is still fine. In experience, they are slightly behind, but they will still be able to fight with the same talent. Now, very crucial on this map and on so many others is that around the objective you try to at least be on even talent so that you can contest your opponent and fight on eye level. And this is something that Dignitas will be able to do. They hit the talent slightly slower, but they will still be able to utilize it in the next battle. One of the things we have to watch out for is the level 10 ability though. That oftentimes drops during the second Immortal phase if there is enough side soak and towers have been taken out. And that's definitely something that the good guys are going to be aiming for, because they are currently with that slight lead in a position where they could really grab that heroic ability first and transition that into a second win on the objective.
Yeah, if they hit a 10 and force that Leyline Seal, get a fight right away, they can take a kill or two with that Hungering Arrow, being able to chunk down the opposing members. Now it's about grabbing the Mercs on the side lanes as Zay's going to work on the Mercs on the left here as he goes in for a scout, and Team Good Guys grab the Mercs on the top right. Greymane's actually getting that experience lead though in the top lane, denying a few minions as Malthael is slightly delayed on that rotation.
And let's not forget about Zay's Medivh just providing vision the entire time. You have so much more freedom on the map if you are safe, if you know where your opponent is, and if you know that your own attempts at taking a camp, for example, can't be interrupted, that there's no gank being set up against you. And already we have Dignitas in the middle of the map. They're a little bit faster here. That gives them actually a lead with the Immortal damage. Pretty good for them. The good guys would have loved to be in that spot and already chunked down that Immortal, but they actually have to retreat for now, and Dignitas is focusing first of all on the defense.
And Tassadar getting a nice push going on the bottom side here. That will have to be defended at some point, but if they can make sure that the Immortal halftime show does not connect, they might be alright, but Team Good Guys just burn it.
That race is ridiculous.
Can they follow up though? Force of Will coming out. Does Snitch have the pulse bomb? He may have one here, but does not get it off there. The Force of Will being a little bit too much of a deterrent.
Yeah, they just chunked that thing down to half hit points within seconds, so that was crazy. And that's with only 10 extra damage on Vala, by the way, just as a side note. So it's not like the level 4 talent has been stacked massively by Raid Boss. That's going to increase even more. Now the bottom has taken some damage. Bakery under trouble thanks to the opening portal that we just saw from Medivh. But once again, the race as Dignitas is losing out on the Immortal. But look at Nubarak, 4-man stun coming into play. But BKB is still holding the front line.
He's still holding the front line, but he has to dodge out because of the Immortal stun. And they get the kill on Arthas. Snitch turns around and puts some damage on Vala. So Arthas being down for like 15 seconds gives Dignitas some breathing room. And remember that push they had on the bottom side? It opened up the turrets. And Dig was able to get a nice experience lead. It's slight, but remember, they were behind about half a level.
Yeah, Malthael is now on the job, but we have, of
Pulse
course,
bomb.
Andre still there. Pulse Bomb, anti-hero goes down, and Kronos will fall as well, unless there's a portal somewhere, and they don't even get the Immortal yet. We have seen Malthael come back into the fight, but that's another big double kill. And just look how the experience play has all of a sudden changed. We are seeing Dignitas closing in on level 10.
Team Dignitas making some big plays in the last 30 seconds here, and Team Good Guys looking like they're starting to crumble. Gonna drop a portal so he can turn around and grab it, but the Immortal stun comes out just in time. JPL goes in for the burrow charge, and there we go. At least they get the Immortal, but they have to get Zay out. Do they get him out? They don't, and he's gonna lose out on the Master's Touch.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem. Him dying outside of Master's Touch is not a problem, because the good guys can't push with this anyways, since they're up against level 10, and you can't, that would be too much of a risk. So the Immortal is not going to get too much value for them either way. They knew that already. It was more so about them making sure that they get the Immortal, because if Dignitas has it, plus the level 10, they can just walk through a lane and kill everything. But Zay losing before he completes Master's Touch, that's brutal, because he loses out on every single stack they have.
Brutal and unfortunate as Dig will work on defending this Immortal. It's getting the fort low enough. Will it be able to finish the blow? No. Fort still stands here, but Greymane's already gone to the bottom lane. He's worked on 10, got 10 for his teammates, and they went in for a coordinated push on Xaylia. But Xaylia, keeping his heads up and aware, does realize that his opponents were moving in.
He never left Mount. He was always on the Mount. Xaylia, not at one point did he even try to poke, because he always knew about the potential of a portal engage. And that's exactly what the good guys tried. They portal engaged onto Malthael, but because Xaylia played it so safe and was just there in experience range, never really tried to put anything up in terms of defense, they couldn't get the kill. So that was extremely well played by him. Good heads up.
So far, in most of our matches, Team Good Guys have actually held up pretty well against Dignitas, but post-10 is where they start to fall apart heavily. Let's see if they can keep themselves nice and level-headed against their opponents. They move in, grab a fort, which will award them level 11. Snitch continues to harass on the side here, but with Mane showing up and a force wall popping in, JPL goes in to control the portal.
I mean, for me, it's really just Dignitas playing extremely disciplined. This is really fun to watch. Xaylia alone, staying on the mount there, not overreaching, just playing this safe. This is extremely cool. They have a lot of discipline right now, and this is exactly what you need when you are trying to either use an advantage, or even when you're trying to come back. Having the discipline to analyze the situation and realize what you can accomplish and what risk it would be. Like, just the risk assessment. What can I gain if I, for example, try as a Malthael to defend my fort? Am I going to defend that thing? No, there's way too many heroes already pushing in against me. But if I move out and die, then I'm just staggering those deaths, as we said in the previous series.
Well, Team Good Guys looking for a fight here on the side. Going to clear out the mercs on the bottom side. Now, Team Good Guys should be noted that they are actually ahead in terms of infrastructure, behind in experience, but they have opened up forts, which means if they continue to win these Immortal phases, they will be pushing on a keep on the next Immortal side. So Dignitas needs to start getting these kills a little bit more earlier in the Immortal phase, or they're going to find themselves in a spot where eventually they just get broken down through Immortals.
But now that we have the level 10s, this is where Dignitas wanted to be in the first place the entire time. So now they have way more potential in these fights to actually set something up, and this is where they try to make sure that they are getting their value, and that was already a great force wall there. BKB was isolated, took a lot of damage trying to get away. Now it's Raid Boss's turn as he gets attacked. Another force wall hits home immediately, and just look how much Vala is already struggling. Good leyline seal, but that's a lot of ults committed just to keep Vala alive.
And it is. Ancestral Healing being used, and Stitch comes on the side here, waiting for a shield from Mana to keep him alive. Portal does pop up, and try and turn around and go for the Tassadar, but Dimensional Shift will be utilized. The anti-hero taking damage at the same time, and we're going to have Team Good Guys popping straight.
Getting a strafe in, Raid Boss with the damage, but still we are seeing currently Dignitas doing extremely well with their setup here and always poking the opponent low. They continue to soak the side lanes as well, which provides them the level 13 talent before the Good Guys are having a chance to get that. So it's a talent lead for Team Dignitas. With 5 kills against 1, they're also the way more aggressive team. And that brings us back to the strength of the composition. The Good Guys have a strong composition towards the Immortal. They can also team fight, but Dignitas is fully focusing on their team fight potential with their setup.
And they go in for another team fight. Xaylia finally will pop the Tormented Souls, and he's sitting on top of an Arthas as well as a Vala. The Pulse Bomb will miss, though, and this should take the wind out of the sails here for Team Dignitas.
Yeah, they actually committed a lot here, but they still have Divine Shield and they have Cocoon available. And so far, it's actually the Immortal on the side of Dignitas that still loses. 8 points a little bit faster, but it's a nice back and forth battle. And the double support with the shield of Tassadar is definitely helping, especially Snitch, to stay in those fights a lot longer.
He's starting to move in. They have a small advantage with this level 13. BKB might be a slightly overextended. Big cocktail coming in there from Anti-Hero, though, hitting everybody.
That was actually a really good one. That hurt a lot. And they are going in again with this, so they're starting to really poke down the Immortal on the Good Guy's side, especially with Tassadar also now utilizing, of course, his level 7 talent for the extra range. And Manager simply getting one Storm in after another. And this brings Dignitas into the lead when it comes to the Immortal.
But Team Good Guys, they're about to hit 13, which means they should be able to turn up, especially that Vala, getting the Siphoning Arrow, which will allow for her to take some damage on themselves so they can put their healing a little bit more into their Greymane, keep an eye out on him. So here we go, Arthas cut off on the left side, needs to start backing up, pops the Army of the Dead, turns around with a Howling Blast, wanting to fight.
Already Greymane in the backline, trying to engage here as well. Cocoon has been used, yet Zestro keeps Anti-Hero alive. As we see Vala popping out of Cocoon for damage, and that's the setup with a leyline seal, but the Divine Shield of an Uberak ruins those plans.
And Xaylia getting low, does kite backwards, JPL on the front side. Everyone from Team Dignitas is alive, but Team Good Guys walk away with a little bit more health bars, and this will open up the window for them to turn around and start working on the Immortal. After some healing coming out, Snitch is diving forward. They gotta get a kill here. They're looking for a kill. They're wanting to keep their opponents at bay.
They're so low in mana. Oh, the Force Wall!
They're gonna get the
kill
kill
against Greymane, but that wall was beautiful.
Nicely done there by Mane, and now they can turn around and look towards the Immortal. They still have to play defense, though. Team Good Guys have done a decent amount of damage. Only 3k health is left on the Immortal, and they clean it up pretty easily there. But this might put them in a spot where Dignitas can get some kills.
Yeah, they could really try and aim for a few more kills, and that's what they've been doing all game. And I mean, this is exactly what we've been talking about from start to finish. It's all about the team fight against the objective. And right now we have Xaylia engaging hard. Look at the mana of Kronas and Raid Boss. They are so low at this point. They win the Immortal, but this is really easily cleaned up by Dignitas. That shouldn't really get too much value for the good guys, just simply because they can't push with it. They need to go back. They first of all need to get mana and health back.
Yeah, should be able to get a keep wall, but nothing more, it looks like. Yeah, you're right, actually. They're burning this really quickly. Turret takes some damage here. Will all get stunned out, and the Immortal starting to work on the gate. Team Dignitas easily handling this Immortal that comes their way.
But eventually, of course, Dignitas has to win one of these team fights earlier.
Eventually.
The kills, 6 for them, 1 for the opponent, heavily in their favor. But the good guys keep winning the Immortals. No matter how much of an early lead Team Dignitas gets, after the fight is said and done, Dignitas is pushed back and the good guys take over the Immortal. And these bad boys, they scale into the late game. So once the game continues, once we're like 20-25 minutes in, if it ever comes to that, those Immortals are just going to do too much damage. But Dignitas is, of course, hoping for the level 16 talent.
Strafe will be used here. They're going to be able to grab the Mercenary camps, but Army of the Dead was also utilized. If BKB can't find a spot here to force somebody in Dignitas to fight them, they're going to waste 2 heroics here, and that's a 70-second cooldown that won't be available.
Yeah, it's a pretty big one. They have a shot that, of course, by the time that it matters, we will see the cooldown back up since the Immortal is still a bit away. But that pressure already down at the bot lane. See how much they can do with that. 16 is half a level away. Dignitas doesn't really want to fight here. They just want to hold this for now. And they have Malthael at the top lane to provide some extra experience and reach the next talent level a little bit faster.
And now they're chasing with that Malthael getting that 16 set up, be able to soak those lanes. Got to be a little bit careful, but want to do enough to keep Team Good Guys around the area. Bakery does get hit by a Howling Blast into a lane line seal, so Snitch on the left side, and Team Good Guys may have found their angle.
Malthael is moving in now, though. No. Cocoon is already down, and look at that damage. Malthael, even without the level 16, is doing already a ton of work here and forcing the good guys back as the Immortal is announced that will spawn in another 15 seconds.
Medivh is a good hero, though. They were able to get away from that Tormented Souls. That hit 5 people as 16 was about to hit. They were in a spot to start winning that team fight, but Team Good Guys able to escape. And you're right, the Immortals are now here.
Yeah, and we still have Leyline Seal on cooldown, so is the Ancestral. But again, the Tormented Soul and Cocoon too. So now again, it comes down to the poke. And Malthael can of course just start to poke away. But we have the defense from Dignitas first of all, more than anything else. Malthael is the one to the left side doing damage, but the rest of Dignitas tries to defend. Here comes again the Army of the Dead being used. Portals already being set up by Xay on his mid deep in the backline. Here comes the stun against BKB. Arthur's in trouble. Is he going to die though?
Quantum Spike will be utilized. BKB's getting lower and lower, but the Force of Will does come out. But Anti may have gotten caught in the side here. Can Snitch blink in? Here comes the Anubrak with the big burrow charge. Knocks him up, but he survives.
Yeah, barely. Both of the storms of Mene connected. But now, of course, they can go for the halftime show again. Malthael the entire time has already provided the damage output. And now the good guys are down a talent here, and they are down in the Immortal hit points. So they really need to either think about, okay, can we afford letting this go? Do we just poke our opponent's Immortal down as much as we can? Because if they start to lose heroes here right now, that would be the disaster for them. Having an opponent push with a talent advantage and high shield Immortal, that would be a nightmare.
Fortunate spawn for them. JPL comes in with a burrow charge, hits BKB. Remember, no Army of the Dead for 20 seconds. The Immortal taking damage. Leyline Seal will be used, but Snitch is dancing in between the lines.
Yeah, Snitch is definitely just pushing the envelope at this point, and he is dividing so much damage here. Jumps in, back deep once again, misses the pulse bomb, but gets the kill, and that's the second as Arthur's falls after Medivh has already been taken out.
2 big losses here for Team Good Guys. 30 seconds between Medivh and Arthas being up, and the Immortal easily won here by Dignitas. 25,000 points in the shield, and they'll be pushing the top lane.
And this is the first Immortal that Dignitas wins, and it's a big one. Scaling hard into the late game, 18 minutes in, and they already prepare the entire wall here, of course, as the good guys are still struggling to get their level 16 talent. And that Immortal is at least going to break through the wall at the keep. They have a really good shot at getting the keep, and if they get killed, they might even move over game.
Team Good Guys gonna have to be careful here. 16 right around the corner. Both Arthas and Medivh are just now spawning with the Immortal. Already pushing for that keep wall. Now Raid Boss and Anti-Hero will start their poke here and do their best they can here from the side. There is some possibilities that we could have a hardened engage here from Team Good Guys, but there is 40 seconds before Ancestral Healing becomes available, which makes it harder when your support's not ready.
They also, yeah, exactly. The support is also at the bot lane, trying to get the 16 talent, and now they finally have it. But they can't engage before he's back. Now finally he's starting to move in as they got the talent, but they're just desperately trying to defend against the Immortal, and Team Dignitas is pushing in even harder. They have the 2-level lead, 18 versus 16. Leyline Seal already being used, followed up by a Howling Blast that connects a little bit too early and doesn't get value. The keep is down, and the good guys are just trying to hold on to the game somehow.
No. Vala gets hit here with a big stun. Raid Boss is in trouble. He's being tickled down by the Tassadar. He will fall. BKB as well, low on health. The Cocoon coming out as well, and Team Dignitas, they see their moment. They go for the C's. They're going straight for the core. Perfect
Cocoon to make sure that Rhaegar does not get the Ancestral in, and Team Dignitas is going for a game as they take the 3-0 victory over the good guys.
It was a hard-fought battle here in game number 3 as Team Good Guys put up a very strong early and mid game, but Dignitas finding that moment in the end game, getting 1 to 2 kills, getting the big Immortal. They push in and they find the execution. That big Cocoon coming out on the Rhaegar, helping them secure the kill on the Vala, and from there it was GG.
It was really well done. First of all, they bait out the shield on Medivh, and then as they all of a sudden realize, hey, we have another cooldown, we can go for a quick shield, for a quick wall with Tassadar and just block her out again. They see what's possible, and that's when JPL reacts right away. Cocoon's Rhaegar, he tries to move in for a quick heal, doesn't get that through. Vala has no chance, she dies, main damage is immediately gone, and with the Immortal still alive, Dignitas has an easy time cleaning the game up by taking down the core